Hello, beautiful people. Today we're going to learn about what exactly is a computer and then learn how to teach it to the first, second, and third graders. If I were to say to you 2 plus 2, you're immediately going to respond 4. But if I were to tell a computer 2 plus 2, the computer is not going to do anything because the computer is waiting for you to tell it like, hey, so what do you want me to do with 2 plus 2? So you want the answer, right? So you have to press equals. So a computer actually needs exactly and very precisely the instructions that you want it to execute. So a computer is just a machine that follows precise and exact information that the human beings tell it to follow to complete a certain task. That's the most important idea of this lesson, that a computer is just a machine that follows human beings' instructions to complete a certain task. We're all used to this idea that a computer is something that sits on a desktop, and a laptop is something different than a computer, because a laptop is a laptop and a computer is something that's, fixed in one position. But in reality, the desktop is just a type of a computer, and a laptop is also just another type of a computer. Both of these are computers. So because they both follow human beings' instructions to complete a certain task. Now, let's just get some examples of computers. Obviously, a desktop is a computer, a laptop is a computer, MacBook Air, like another laptop, is a computer. Believe it or not, these 3 phones, these oldies, are also a computer. This Android phone is also a computer. Apple Watch and all these digital watches are computers as well, because they follow our instructions and they complete a certain task. So if you want to see weather, you can click on the weather app and see the weather and stuff. So they're just following what we tell them to do, and they're just giving us, completing the task and giving us the information. A smart TV is a computer. When you want to watch your favorite TV show, when you want to watch your favorite YouTube video, the computer is completing the task of displaying that stuff for you when you ask for it. That's a computer. But we name these things different things because we can't just call everything a computer. But in reality, all of these, in their essence, are computers. This flying spaghetti monster, this drone is also a computer because it goes up, down, left, right, like it follows our instructions and captures videos and photos and everything and displays it on our computer, stores it on our computer and stuff. It follows instructions, completes a task. That's a computer. Audio system to blast music and to get weather reports, to control the environment in a car. That's a computer because it follows instructions and completes a task. So that's the lesson for today, that a computer is just a machine that follows our instructions to complete a certain task. And also that the computer comes in different shapes and sizes. So now we're going to go over the lesson plan for this lesson for what exactly is a computer. You can find the lesson plan in the computer science program folder. You will go to the lesson plans, 1, 2, 3, and what is a computer, and then you will go to this document, what exactly is a computer. The naming convention that I have for this document is L1, which means lesson 1, and G123 means grade 1 to 3, and then the title of the lesson, which is what exactly is a computer. The lesson plan itself is divided into these sections, right? Don't be overwhelmed by this. I will go over this immediately and you will be like, oh, this was so simple. So the first thing is, this is for yourself, getting yourself ready. What exactly do you want to get out of this lesson plan? You will find the objective over here, that at the end of this, you will want your student to describe what a computer actually is, what it does, and at the end, you both should have shared, what you guys use computers for. The key vocabulary terms that you should know is computer and instructions. And at the end of this lesson, you want your students to know these 2 words as well. And the agenda is basically the structure of the whole lesson plan. that if you have 30 minutes, how are you dividing the 30 minutes? What are you going to do? So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to share. When you go to the share section, I have written here what exactly you need to do. Tutors ask their students these questions, and they also share their own responses to these questions. So you guys will share among yourselves that, what do you use computer for? How do you see others use it? Like, what are your favorite things to do on a computer? What are your favorite games? What do you like to do and stuff? You want to talk about that for 10 minutes. This is just an approximate timing, but you can take 5 minutes, maybe 12 minutes, depending on how the conversation is going. And the second part is teaching the lesson, which is over here. And before teaching the lesson, above I have a section called the main idea of the lesson. This is the main idea of the lesson that you want to get across. This is over there just so that you know that if you feel a little lost, if you feel a little like, what am I even doing? You can go back to this main idea that, okay, I need to teach my students this. And teaching the lesson is how to teach the main idea of the lesson over here. So teaching the lesson is probably going to take around 10 minutes. And if you go to teaching the lesson part, as in this video, I began asking you, like, hey, if I were to say to you 2 plus 2, what will you say? You would say 4, and your students will also say 4. So this is actually one of my computer science professor who began our lesson with this by saying, like, hey, 2 plus 2, and we all said 4. But he told us, like, if I were to tell a computer 2 plus 2, what will the computer say? And we all said, of course it's going to say 4. So what he did was he pulled up a calculator really quickly on his laptop that he was displaying, and he pressed 2 plus 2 like this, and then it didn't do anything because you have to press the equal sign. And the idea and the lesson here that we learned was the computer needs precise and exact information from human beings for it to complete the task that we want it to complete. So to show, like here in the steps, first you will ask that question, and you will ask, if you type on a computer 2 plus 2, what will happen? And you will show on a calculator that just by saying 2 plus 2, it's not going to do anything unless you press the equal sign, unless you press the enter sign, because the computer wants exact instructions from human beings. And if you just let the computer sit, it will not do anything. And you will ask that question to the students. If you just let the computer sit, what is it going to do? It's going to say no. So then you are going to tell them that, hey, the computer needs specific information from us human beings, and is just a machine. And here is basically the part where you are telling them, revealing this idea, your main lesson plan idea, main idea of the lesson, that computer is just a machine that follows what we tell it to do to solve a problem or complete a task. So to reiterate to them, that we often think that a computer is just a desktop that is bigger compared to a laptop that sits on a desk, but actually computers come in different shapes and sizes, and we give them a few examples of a computer, like laptops, Apple Watches, iPads, and you can use this example slides that I have here for examples of a computer. In the end, you will go through, for the criteria for the mastery, you are going to ask them, like, hey, so what is a computer? What does it do? And they should respond that, okay, a computer is just something that follows our instructions and completes a task. And then you're going to go into computer or not activity, which is this. You will find that in the folder, as you can see here, computer or not. And in this activity, you are going to basically ask your students, hey, the images that you see, is that a computer? So for this one, they should say yes. A key is not a computer. No. Laptop is a computer. And for some of these, they will be like, no, that seems like a mobile phone. So you want to remind them in these positions that, hey, remember what we said, computer is anything that just follows your instructions and completes a task precisely. It's a machine that follows your instructions and completes a task. So does a phone follows your instructions? It does. When you ask it to call someone, it calls by dialing the number when you dial it. So these washing machine is a computer because You ask it to heat for 30 minutes, it heats for 30 minutes, and then it stops. So this one is not a computer, it's an iron. And the phone is a computer, cash register, and all these things, as I went over, these are all computers. So you want to go over these things with your students, and that will be based on their responses. You want to guide them and give them hinting questions. Does it follow? Does it, what did we describe what a computer is?